Hey, welcome back, everybody. HSC Podcast number 60. We are in season three, episode three, and we have the full crew tonight. We got Big Smooth back from Disney World. Welcome back.
Magical place
Got
on Earth.
Fresh West and Big Box Steve on the mic. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like. We appreciate the views. Uh, New subscribers or listeners on uh, Spotify, which is awesome. And if you listen to Apple Podcasts, thanks for listening. So let's get into it. So, of course, tonight we're going to talk about draft recap. Last podcast, we talked about our draft. Man, it didn't go the way that I thought it would go. I don't think it went the way any of us thought it would go. So, that's going to be fun to talk about. So, before we get into NFL draft, what because we have hit NBA playoffs throughout the last couple podcasts. I just want to start with I didn't think the Lakers would be here. I don't know about you guys. We got the Lakers in round two. What do you guys think about that? The
No, because
Lakers have a
Dylan.
chance?
No, they don't have a chance. Dylan Brooks shouldn't have ran his mouth because, yeah, he didn't
you
show
see
up at all. It's
you
like if
see
you're
some
gonna run your
videos,
mouth, then don't like whine and like run out the arena and don't talk to the press. Have
right?
some balls.
Right. Like you talked the talk, right? Now you got to take the consequences.
Yeah.
No, I don't understand why Memphis talks and why would they ever talk? They've never done anything. You know, it's like Jaw saying it's like, oh, like talking like, yeah, we're just gonna run through the West. How'd that work out? You lost to the Lakers, and like I said, the Lakers are. I mean, that I
There's nothing
don't think
wrong with the Lakers, though. They have
I'm
good
not. I'm
players.
not going to say the Lakers don't have a chance because the NBA is dysfunctional, kind of like the NFL is dysfunctional. Like it's like they have some sort of there's there's just so many problems. They could come out. I put money on them. I like months ago. I said, why not? You know, I mean,
Well, I
but
mean, you've
I
got
do like Denver. I find it very hard to believe anybody's going to beat Denver in the West.
no, you're 100%, dude. Like, look at the way Denver's handling Phoenix,
They're
handling them,
just smoking them.
dude.
Mhm.
And then if you're gonna come back now and talk about Jokic not being MVP, come on, dude.
It's
Like
kind of
he is just murdering it.
yeah. In the next game, especially now, because all I've heard today is about, oh yeah, so nauseating to me to sit there and listen to people. No, he's celebrating his MVP. What by getting your ass kicked by the Celtics? You know who gives a crap about MVP? Either you're gonna go out there and win the NBA championship. Who cares about the freaking most
Yeah,
valuable player?
yeah. It doesn't matter unless
You're
you
going to
win.
get smoked by the Celtics. Who cares about the dumb MVP?
Well, and that's the thing is ever all the detractors of Jokic was, well, he was the MVP, but his team didn't do anything in the playoffs
Right.
last few
Well,
years, right? I mean, now look, isn't that
isn't
what
it funny?
good old Kendrick Perkins said?
Yeah. Yeah. And when you look at because I believe that the Suns are one of the better teams. Look, you've got a good team with the Suns, right? You're playing one of a point guard who's been elite for a long time, Chris Paul, right? You got one of the best shooters of all time, Kevin Durant. You got Booker, who's playing as good as anybody in the league for the last couple years. And then they're coming out and they're just dominating them. And Jokic is like triple double, putting
No.
up 30, 10, and 12, like just killing games.
And then
Dude,
Paul's
So
out for the rest of the series. So,
yeah, now he is. Yeah, that's and now that's even rougher for the
yeah.
Suns.
yeah.
Um, eh,
Denver's scary because they're like an actual team.
yeah,
This ain't
yeah,
no,
they
this
they
ain't
play
like,
like a team.
it's like everybody wants to form their super team. Not this team. This is an actual team. And they're actually can be very scary. They should win the whole thing now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Let's talk about the Knicks for a second, because I mean, Jimmy Butler's hurt.
oh yeah,
Yeah, but Randall and Brunson are both hurt. I mean, they're
Yeah.
playing hurt.
But they're still
Butler,
playing.
I saw Butler was practicing, so he's going to play the next game. It's in
Yeah.
Miami. He's going to be,
yeah.
But they still
What?
got a chance. They're 1-1, right? I mean,
yeah.
so
Well, I think if Randall and Brunson are close to like 80% or better, then they're going to win the series.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially Brunson. I think they can handle Randall not being there because they could put Toppin in or Hartenstein, but
Yeah.
Brunson is the key to that team.
I mean, I think the Knicks are in a better shape than I thought they would be at this point in the playoffs. So I think that's great for the Knicks.
Well, I
But
want to say thank you to the Blazers for trading Josh Hart to the Knicks because
right.
that's just what the Knicks need. I don't understand why Josh Hart, like, he doesn't put up big numbers, but it's like 12 points, 8 assists,
Yeah.
6, 7 rebounds.
Solid player. He shoots
Yeah.
the ball well. He plays both sides of the ball. Like he's a solid player.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's like Portland, we're just keeping up with the traditions. Like, hey, please, please, you guys be good. We can suck. We will suck for you. Here, take all our best
Yeah,
players.
yeah. Pass
Yeah.
on the good players to another team. That's what we do. Like Rasheed Wallace. Hey, why don't you go to Detroit and win a championship?
Yeah. Yeah. We're here to help you, not,
Jermaine
come
O'Neal
on,
be a bench player for the Blazers for all those years, and then you're
It's
going to
like
leave
we don't
now.
care about our city. It's like, please, we're a farm league for
So, so question about the Knicks. So let's say the Knicks win the series, right? Can they beat the Celtics or the 76ers?
Yeah, I mean they did in the regular season, so why can't they do in the playoffs? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't the 76ers. I'm not too scared of because I think they're too streaky. Because James Harden's playing good now, but James Harden disappears in the playoffs. He always has. Embiid, do you know if he's going to even play every game? No.
Well, if Maxi plays well, 76ers are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough team to beat if Maxi plays well.
Right, but like
Um,
the Knicks got Quickly, who's just
right.
kind of like a Maxi. So
Yeah, I have that's my fear for the Knicks is I have a hard time putting them above the Sixers or the Celtics. Not to
and
say they can't win. I'm just saying I think that's a tough play for them.
here's the other thing. Going into Madison Square Garden when the Knicks are winning.
Yeah, it's a tough. It's a good home court advantage for sure. Um, so I'm not. Knicks have a chance. I would love to. That's a good turnaround. If you think about the turnaround that Knicks have made in the last few years, like that's a good story.
Well, they didn't go out and get, the whole thing was before they're like waiting for the superstars, they're waiting for LeBron, they're waiting for Durant, all this. And now they just, they drafted well and then they picked up medium stars,
Yeah.
Brunson and Randall. And
Well,
it,
RJ
it just,
Barrett though, I mean that's a good pick. Like I like RJ Barrett. I think I'm a big fan of his. I like the way
yeah,
he
well,
plays.
he's still kind of streaky though, but
But yeah, he's young. Like give him a couple
He's
years. Like
tricky. He again, some nights he doesn't show up, but again, they're kind of like in the Nuggets in a way. It's like, hey, we're gonna build a team,
right.
and the question is, what key pieces are they gonna add next year? Because I think you're asking a lot to beat the. I think the Celtics are gonna beat the Sixers at this point. I think you're asking a lot to beat the Celtics. You can beat them, but even looking forward, I mean, you just add some pieces to the Knicks, and they could be pretty dangerous, like the
Yeah,
Nuggets.
you got a great foundation going.
Yeah,
well,
Yeah,
and
out
then
there in New York.
Quickly was like the 22nd pick overall, and he's like their
Yeah.
sixth
he's
man.
good. I like. I didn't. I'm like, dude, who's this guy, dude? He's like,
I mean,
Legit.
there's nothing wrong though with having a great six man, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes one of your best players is your six man because
Yeah.
you need that coming off the bench, right? How many times have
Well,
we seen that over the years?
well, they got a nice little core of. I mean, Fournier doesn't even play.
Right.
Uh, Derrick Rose doesn't even play. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Would
what's
it
he
be
gonna do?
awesome if Derrick Rose actually played, though? I mean,
yeah.
talk about a guy that can just light you up for 25. Just like you're like, what happened? He just scored 25 points because he's that good. That's Derrick
Yeah,
Rose.
he got
He's
some
healthy. We just got to
injections
worry
in his
about his
knees.
leg falling off.
Yeah,
Like, no, here, let's just tape up his leg. He can go for 25.
Well,
it's
if Brunson is not going, you're going to have to play Rose at some point.
it's like Varsity Blues, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is in the back room, and they're like putting a needle in his leg, and Brunson comes out. And he's like,
Oh,
"Don't do it,
no.
dude. It's not worth
Don't do it.
it." So Eastern. I mean, Jimmy Butler comes back. I think that series goes either way. I still think the Celtics are the best team in the East, in my opinion. But the West, Denver, you gotta think Denver is going right. But Golden State is just one of those teams that they have so many players. When you look at Wiggins, when you look at Curry, you look at Thompson. Like even tonight, Draymond goes for almost a triple double, or even did he even get his triple double? He might have. And then they
Looney.
got Looney, dude. Last time I looked at it, I don't know how he finished, but how are you playing this guy 8 minutes when he's already got 6 rebounds and 6 points in 8 minutes? I'm like, he had 24 rebounds, 22 rebounds each of the last couple games. I'm like, would you please put this guy in the game?
Well, he's sick. He was sick today. They were saying that he was like had like the flu or something.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like, we don't need to put him in because we're destroying the Lakers.
Well, yeah, then they got yeah. But I think again, we talked about this before. I think they're a better team with Looney in the lineup. But
Oh,
yeah, the Golden State's tough. It's like, because we know Curry is one of the best players out there, right? And he can put up 50 as he showed at any given time. So I don't think the Lakers win that series. And then I don't think you want to play Golden State anytime, do you?
Well, do you put if the Warriors go on and win it all and Curry is the MVP, is he the greatest point guard of all time?
God, he's got to be close. I mean, that's a hard ask, right? Because there's a lot of good point
Oh,
guards.
mhm.
But you cannot deny what Curry has done up to this point, especially if he puts another ring on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So would that be more than Magic?
No. Well,
No.
yeah. No, it'd be the same. I think Magic was 5-5 in finals. He won five and he lost five. But still, I mean, he's gone. He went to 10. I mean, think yeah, I think just the way Curry does it is different because it's hard. Oh yeah, everyone's like, well, he's not really a traditional point guard. It's like, but he's a point guard.
What is a
And he's
traditional point guard?
smoking people.
Right.
I mean, the way he just shoots the lights out to a certain point where it's just like, how do you do that? I mean, how does he shoot the way he does? It's like I'll just shoot it, and everyone freaks out, and you see it too. It's like when he gets before he even gets the ball, you have people running out at him, and he's like catches the ball and shoots it off from the hip, like you did, Steve. It
Yeah.
reminded me of Steve playing
I'll shoot
basketball.
from anywhere,
He's like, and everyone's like, oh, whatever, dude. He's like, shoots
dude.
from the hip. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can't make the whole shit.
The problem, or the not the problem, I think the thing about Curry, which makes him different than some of traditional point guards, if you watch some of his plays, I saw there he's running 100, 150 feet on a play, right? back to this corner, over to this corner, up to the top of the key, like just running around. And how do you keep up with that? How do
Can't.
you defend that?
He's like
It
Reggie Miller was.
Right.
he
He's very
exactly.
Reggie Miller like.
He partitions the floor like Reggie Miller to a
Yeah.
certain extent. And it's like, stop making all the right cuts, angle. He just makes all the right cuts and angles. He knows how to partition the floor like a Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
And it makes it all. It's like, I got him. It's like, they're like a couple times you can tell, like, oh, we got him. And it's like, no, you don't. He's gonna make another move and he's gonna get the ball and he shoots a hook shot. Like, what are you, Kareem? Like, you're supposed to shoot it out there with 3-pointers. Why are you shooting hook
uh,
shots?
he's got that runner and that
Yeah,
that floater. That's pretty ridiculous.
it is.
But I would like to see Golden State Denver out of the West because I think that'll be a better uh, series. With Golden State and Denver. The
Yeah.
Lakers, I can't say they don't have a chance. The Suns
I
don't.
just
It's
don't want
not
to see
looking
it.
good. But yeah, nobody wants to see the Lakers. Uh,
No,
uh,
because we don't want to hear about the Lakers like
uh,
today. All they did is talk about the Lakers.
oh,
It's like,
LeBron,
you want to talk about
LeBron.
it's because it's LeBron. It's like, you want to talk about the most boring team. They're
Yeah.
not interesting at all. Oh, it's AD. I'm tired of hearing about AD.
Well, he
Please,
didn't have a
please,
very
Golden
good
State
game.
win.
Yeah. So it's still. I think I can't wait for the conference finals. Western Conference, Eastern Conference finals. I think it'll be the best part of the playoffs up to this point. So I like to see that, and we'll keep everybody up to date on our thoughts on that. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. If you got comments, please leave it. But because it was draft week last week and we are NFL guys, let's get into it. And before we get into it, just tell me what you guys think about the Raiders draft.
I liked the first and second round. The third round came out of nowhere. Like both the picks in the third round were stupid and ridiculous. And then after that, they was all right.
So were you overall satisfied with it or
It
you're
was
unhappy?
fine.
Like
It was a B for me. I
a
mean,
B?
I'm kind of irritated with the third round. They should have gotten a linebacker, one of the good linebackers out there in another corner, but they went with a reach at wide receiver and then
Right.
another run stuffing DT. They drafted 2 run stuffing DTs last year.
Right. Why are you gonna go that way again?
Yeah,
How do you feel about Wilson?
I like him.
Good
I
fan of
ca-
Wilson?
it For me, it was either Wilson is fine or I would have traded down.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Uh,
You need someone to want to trade down with you to be able to do that.
right,
And at
right.
that point, I don't think anyone wanted to jump up.
Mm.
No, there was too many moves happening. I think it started to get a little dicey.
I mean, they got the second best end, so and he works. He can on like passing downs if they want. They can have him, Jones, and Crosby all on the field at the same time because he can move inside and pass rush. So
Well, without his injury, do you think he might have been the first end? Like,
I don't know. Will Anderson was like always going to be the first end. I think.
yeah,
No, yeah.
I mean, he was postmarked for that the year before. I think.
right. How do you feel about it, Wes? How are the Raiders draft? How do you feel about Wilson?
I mean, he's all right, I guess. I mean, for the seventh pick, I mean, the thing is it's kind of, you're drafting based on need at that point, and defensively, they just have a lot of needs. It's kind of like, all right, um,
Best defensive player
where do we
available that
start?
didn't get in a car crash.
Where well, the because of course you think, I don't care, you still think Jalen Carter at that point. The problem with that is
Yeah,
is
what is the problem with
what
that, Wes? Tell us about the problem with that, because because I'm thinking Jalen Carter is the best person in the draft overall, and you got a chance to take him at 7.
well, um, that whole Ruggs thing kind of screws things up for the
Mhm.
Raiders when you think about it. I
So
mean,
now it's Ruggs' fault.
I personally, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't take Jalen
I
Carter. It's like,
don't,
you know what?
but it's just
But
a bad look if you're
it's a
like you
bad,
have a player going to jail
yeah,
for reckless driving and killing someone,
yeah.
and then you have a player that you could draft who's it wasn't the
Street
one,
racing.
but was at the
Okay.
scene of something like that.
All
That's
right.
like
All
a
right.
huge
That's just a
PR problem.
bad. It's a bad
Okay.
and the Godfather said, my dad said it all the time. He's like, I don't understand why they moved to Vegas because you're gonna have this problem. You're gonna have this perception all the time.
Yeah, but
I
here
mean,
we
it's
go.
not any better in
The
California.
the Bears traded away the picks so someone could
Yeah.
take them. So
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that in a second. How about the Raiders draft overall, Wes? So, Wilson, are you happy with? You're not happy with, and how the rest of the Raiders draft go?
I'm not really happy with ever the Raiders drafts, but at this point, I think it's personally they just had so many bad drafts. I guess this was all right because
Right.
they didn't feel needs. Mayor, of course, he's from Notre Dame. But what annoys me about the Raiders is, in my opinion, if I'm drafting, if I had a choice between an Oregon State tight end and a Notre Dame tight end, I will take Oregon State every day of the week because
Really?
how they blitz freaking Notre
Yeah.
Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Those are the type of players. I'm taking the dude from Oregon State that's just as good as Mayer.
I don't think
You
I'm
so.
know,
the
I'm gonna.
problem is Mayer is much better than Musgrave.
Yeah,
he's a
Musgrave.
better blocker.
No, well, don't you want a really good blocking tight end? Because you have Josh Jacobs.
I mean, when you're in college and your nickname is Baby Gronk and you got Josh McDaniels there, I mean, Mayer was the
No,
number 15 ranked
all right.
prospect. I mean,
I believe Mayer was the best Raiders pick. This is my opinion.
mhm.
I believe Mayer was your best pick of the draft.
He was a steal in the second round.
I think it was a steal. I thought he'd go in the top 20.
No, not top
The
20.
other one I liked was
Very
Bennett,
good.
the corner from Maryland.
Yeah.
He's 4'240. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Bennett was a good. I like the Bennett pick.
you
Dude,
know, the
what
Raiders.
about Byron Young? What about Byron Young?
He's
I think that
okay.
was a good pick too. I think that was a good pick,
I mean, you
honestly.
get him in a spot that wasn't a bad spot to get
I
him.
don't think you get him later. Like that's a good pick. The
That's
Raiders
the
got
thing is
picked
if
in the
if
top
they would have
10.
if they would have taken him at 100 instead of 70.
Right.
Oh yeah, you'd be geniuses.
Well, if I'm because I would have rather have gotten Mr. Bear's corner, Tyreek
Yeah,
Stevenson,
right.
or another corner, or at that point, the linebackers were still there. Henley and Simpson and who's the other one that freaking Broncos got? One of the other good ones.
Yeah.
All the good linebackers were still there.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's a bad pick though. The Raiders got ranked in the top 10 almost by everybody in their draft.
It's funny. So I was just trying to get like top 10, top pick, because I wanted to get like a snapshot of who they drafted. And Sporting News had the Raiders 25th.
Oh, I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah. I was like, and some of them
25th.
were really bad because
Yeah,
there was
that
one that was like, yeah, here's Sporting News. I forgot who they put as Vinny Iyer. He's an idiot. Uh, we'll get to in a, but they put the Cardinals at 31st for their draft.
Right. Cardinals
I
had a
have them
decent
as
draft.
like one of the best drafts.
They did well. They did well. Uh, so I'll talk about the Bears for a second. I mean, I'm disappointed that you have Jalen Carter and then you trade back one spot for then the Eagles to draft Jalen Carter. But I think Poles had it in his mind. I
Yeah.
mean, it was right or nothing else. Like that, he was going that way no matter what. So he was fine trading back, getting a pick. And I get that. But I'm also disappointed because Jalen Carter is a difference maker. Maybe he's a failure. Maybe he is. But he can also be one of the best players in the league in a few years. And that's I can't, if I was a GM, if I'm a coach, and I say I have a chance to grab a difference maker in the whole on my defense in the whole league, possibly one of the best play a defensive player of the year, you got to draft him. And so I was a little disappointed in that, but on the flip side of that, you filled one of the biggest needs that you have on the team, right? With a really, really good lineman.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's the best lineman. I think there's
Well,
there's give there's give and
you're
takes back and yeah,
specifically a right tackle, and
right,
that's
right,
what you needed.
right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It's a
He
specific
may
need.
not be the best overall, but he was the best the position that they needed, and Poles was going to do it regardless. So, but down the line, they did really well. They got some really good players. The Florida kid, uh, the cornerback. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they did well in the draft. Uh, so
My only thing with the Bears is the DTs. Dexter and Pickens are both should have done more than they did in college. So
Well,
hopefully they can get coached up because they have tons of talent.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I think they drafted for talent, which I'm okay with because you're talking about later picks, right?
Well, one
And
is the second, and
for me, if it's not a first round, it's a later pick.
right.
Like it could be anything after that. But yeah, I understand what you're saying because there are still good second round picks available, right?
Like if the Bears hadn't traded for Chase Claypool, they would have had Joey
Oh
Porter
my
Jr.
dude, the Claypool trade. Poles has not done a lot wrong, and I'll give him that. But that was the worst.
I think everyone needs to realize do not trade for Steelers wide receivers.
what?
Well, the Raiders traded
Oh
for
man.
Antonio Brown and for Martavis Bryant. Those two worked out, right? Chase Claypool's working out, right?
Jeez.
I think the Bears are just hoping that the way that Justin Fields is running around for his life.
Well,
A lot of times they can just throw the ball up to Claypool and he'll be able to catch it. But
I
yeah,
know the
that's
the
second rounder though. That's what's tough for
yeah,
me.
that it is really bad to
brutal.
give him a second rounder. But I will tell you that adding DJ Moore does make Claypool a good viable option, right? Because now he's gonna be one on one all the time. You
Well,
can't double team him. Like you're gonna have to put someone on him, and that's a hard cover one on one because he's so big.
for me, the pick that stood out for me for the Bears was Tyler Scott,
Yeah,
receiver.
agree, 100%.
That's a big play receiver right there.
Oh, and he's going to come in. He's going to get in the slot. He's going to get on third downs. He's going to get in late in the game, and he's going to make a difference. And I like that pick as well. So I don't think the Bears did bad. And if you look at across the board, a lot of the sports analysis thinks the Bears did great. You know,
Yeah. No, I think they did do great.
yeah. So let's talk about that. So who did great? Um, Let's pull up our sheet here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's do our top five teams. Who did the best in the draft? 1 to 5. You guys want to go 5 to 1, or you want to go 1 to 5?
5-1.
5 to 1. All right, go ahead, Derek. Start. I'll be back in a second.
All right. So my fifth best team, and this is a weird. I have an asterisk team I'll get to in a sec after, but my fifth best team was the Seattle Seahawks. Watching the tape of Witherspoon now, I was so mad that the Seahawks got him because I would have loved for the Raiders to have been able to get Witherspoon.
Yeah.
That guy is amazing. And to get Smith and Najaba later. So now they got a three-headed monster for receivers. Picked up Cabernet to go with Walker. And then they picked up linemen and defense. I mean, I think they just picked up everything they needed. I think it was just another home run by the Seahawks again. I hate to say it, but 2 years in a row, the Seahawks are
They
getting
did.
Ooh,
lots of good players.
I think the Seahawks had a good draft. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I know people were upset that, oh yeah, they couldn't get like they're up at that position. They couldn't get Richardson and all this crap, but Witherspoon's legit. Like their draft was really good.
They got the Legion of Boom again now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
their defense is solid.
Yeah. So
So
You
Wes, who do
seen
you
the
got?
highlights of Witherspoon like his tackles?
oh yeah. Dude, when he lit that one dude up, like he read the screen and
Yeah.
just lit him up. That's a cornerback. Dude, he looked like freaking Lawrence Taylor in that play. I'm like, that was legit.
I mean, I actually think that Derek Hall was one of their best drafts. I think
Yeah.
he's a super underrated edge because there
Yeah.
were so many edges in the draft. I think he got overlooked.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they got him, early, but still, I think he could have been a first round pick easily. I would take him over a lot of those guys that went.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree. The Seahawks are right there on the edge for me. Wes, what do you have there down at 5?
I got the Steelers. I think
Oh yeah.
they filled a lot of needs. I think moving up to get Broderick Jones, which is kind of funny because the Jets wanted him. Like they just kind of moved up and like, hey, sorry, Jets, we got him. Like, that was kind of funny. Joey Porter Jr. Next, round 2. That I think at pick 32, that's a great pickup for them. I like how they Darnell Washington fall to them.
Oh,
In the third. I mean, he's a beast. I mean, he's
you
kind of like
you get him
Mercedes
at
Lewis.
93
I know. Yeah, that was
because he had swollen
great.
knees at the
Yeah,
combine.
but
He's the best tight end in the draft. You
well,
got him
he
at
can be
93.
if
He
he's
has the potential to be.
Well,
yes, if he's healthy. And
Or,
right.
I mean, he's still unrefined too. I mean, he
yeah,
has the most talent.
you have
Dude, he's big, he's fast, he can catch.
he's
I mean,
6'8". He's a
yeah,
monster.
Hey, Ricky Dudley was big and fast and stuff too, and look what happened with
yeah,
him.
Oh yeah, is that
yeah,
who?
but his name was Ricky Dudley.
Yeah,
Anytime you have the name of Dudley, like that's not good. I agree. I mean, I like the Steelers at that pick. I actually have the Bears here at 5. It was it was really close between the Bears and Seahawks here for me, and I ended up with the Bears just because I think they did more uh, for overall talent. I think the Seahawks got a couple really, really good talented players, which really helps them a lot. But I think the Bears filled out their team really well to make some moves. Not next year, but the year after and the year after and the year after. So I took the Bears here. And man, I just
Well, and with the Bears too, you got to think if you should put in part of your deal with this DJ Moore and another first round pick next year, right?
right. And then because of the trade, they get more picks out of it. So ultimately, it was a really hard choice for me between the Seahawks and Bears, but I took the Bears.
Yeah,
So number 4 here, Wes, what do you got?
I got the Bears at 4. Um, just the fact that they got Javon Dexter where they got him, I thought that was a great
Yeah,
pick.
that was a
Um,
great pick.
they got Stevenson, the cornerback. I even like the kid, the running back from Texas, Rashad Johnson. I think
Great pick, right?
yeah, where you got him in the fourth
Dude,
round.
he's so underrated because
Yeah,
he's playing behind Bijan. Like nobody knows how good he is.
yeah, he's good.
It,
Got some speed.
it's like an Auburn situation, right? Remember when they had the running backs and like you had 3 running backs, you don't know
Ronnie
who's good.
Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams.
Right. Like you still can get a great pick later.
Yeah,
Or
it,
if you want to go way back, we'll go
Thurman Thomas and
Barry
Barry
Sanders and
Sanders.
Thurman Thomas, right?
that Thurman Thomas guy, he was all right.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's very similar. So yeah, I think go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, and of course, with Justin Fields, you need receivers. I think Tyler Scott is a good pickup in the fourth round. I mean, for getting him in the fourth round is a great pick. Noel Sewell from linebacker from Oregon, you get him in the fifth round.
Right. Good
Like
pick. I
how
love
are
that
these?
pick.
And it was such a strange draft. Like how are these guys falling? I mean, I felt bad for the for Deuce from Kansas State. He fell all the way to Cowboys like late. I'm like, dude, this guy's electric. He would be a
Yeah.
great kick returner. It's like, how are these guys falling?
You know what I think it was? I think that you had this draft for me was a bunch of players that were very equal, from second round to fifth round. You had some
Mhm.
really good first rounders, but between second and fifth round, I think all the players were very equal, good players, solid people that are going to start, or be good backups from
Yeah.
for 3 rounds.
Well, that was the thing. I was watching the NFL draft the last few days because I didn't get to, and so it's weird to watch it after you already know what's going to
Right.
happen. But I was liking wanting to listen and hear everyone's breakdowns of all the players. And one thing it was weird was like Mel Kiper never disparaged any teams really for
No.
their picks. And then he kept making comments about, well, this is just kind of a weird draft because there's
Yeah.
not really that many great players.
But a
Yeah.
lot of good players.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
so
good
it
players.
is. It's like from second to fifth round, you
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
know this draft.
There's tons of good players that could be great, could be bad, and it was such a hard draft for the teams. That's why I think you saw all the mock drafts like just ruined.
Mhm.
Like no mock draft was right, dude. Like if you had that mock draft, you should have put money on it.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, man, you have a mock. Like I did so many mock drafts, and there's a few
Weren't
things
even
that happen,
close. Yeah.
but no, not at
I mean,
all.
I think I have one that had like 5 of the first top 10
Yeah.
picks, and after that, it was just gone.
Well,
Yeah.
once you do trades and everything, it just goes
Yeah.
out the window.
Well, but even like, I mean, and we'll maybe get to this later, but there was guys that went in the second round, third round that I thought would go first,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, Mayer and Joey Porter Jr., I think everyone had them in the first round.
Oh yeah. Well, and of course,
Levis.
Levis, right, going late. So Josh Downs getting
Mhm.
the Colts getting Josh Downs that late,
Dude.
dude, that's crazy.
Well, I just think it was because the receivers didn't start going until late.
I don't even care. I still think Josh Downs is better than half the receivers that went in front of him. But that's just me, right?
Well, I think that's what the thing is. This year, all the
Yeah.
receivers were like clumped together, and it was whoever you liked the best.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me at number 4, I got the Falcons. And obviously they got Bijan Robinson, which I think is really good for their team. Yeah, they had a running back who did well for them, but we all know that it's not a one running back league anymore. Like you got
Yeah.
to have two running backs, and I think they did themselves a big favor by adding the best running back in the draft. Um, and I think someone who will be a great running back for a long time. But and then Bergeron, who I also had as a very good offensive lineman, they got him in the second round. But I think their best pick, two best picks actually, was Zach Harrison, from Ohio State. I love him at the edge.
Oh
I
yeah.
love him at the edge.
The other guy's
Eh,
like, how
Right.
is
How do you go to round
how do you
three at 75? You get Zach Harrison?
That's crazy.
And then they get Clark Phillips from Utah at in the fourth round at 113th, dude, who's arguably as good as any quarterback in the draft.
Mhm.
This guy's solid. And I watched many games of his because we're Pac 12, obviously, we're West Coast. I watched him a lot, and I don't see much difference between him and the
Yeah.
best corners out there. So I do have the Falcons at number 4. What do you got at 4, Derek?
I've got, because of their huge splash the first round, I got the Texans
Boo.
Okay.
because you get arguably the best quarterback and the
Yeah.
best defensive player in the draft. 1, 2, you get Tank Nathan Dell, right receiver. I mean, you get Henry Tutuit for a linebacker. You get Jarrett Patterson late um for your line. I think they
Right.
just made a lot of big moves, and they still have a first rounder next year.
Right.
So I just think getting Stroud and Anderson and not giving up too much to move up back to 3, because they didn't have to pull like what the Bears did. I mean what the
Oh
Panthers.
no. No, yeah, no. I think yeah, I'm on board with that 100% because I have the Texans in my top 5 too. So
Yeah, but just with they did make some like Juice Scruggs was kind of a reach, and but
but I mean
besides that,
it's hard to argue with CJ Stroud and Will Henderson.
yeah,
No.
Like if that was your only draft, like you did well.
yeah,
Like you got two of the best players, two of the top 5 players in this draft, in my opinion. Like if
right.
you looked at the top 5, those are two of the top 5.
Well, yeah, you could arguably say they're the best offensive player and best defensive player. You could actually say that.
I think you could easily say you got the best defensive player. I think the best offensive player, you could make arguments for it. But I think Will Anderson's the best defensive player.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Texans draft there. So number 3, this is where I have the Steelers. And the reason I love the Steelers draft is, one, I think you got Joey Porter Jr. for a steal
Mhm.
because I think he might be the best corner in the draft because you don't know until they hit the NFL, right? Like you can make all the claims you want, you can look at all the tape you want, but first of all, this dude's comes from the bloodline, right? Comes from the bloodline. He's the guy, and then you get a great, what I think could be one of the greatest tight ends out there if he can stay healthy. All around, my pick at 3 is the Steelers. Like I love the Steelers here. I think they did a great job with a limited number of picks. And I think they hit on almost all of their picks. So what do you got at 3, Derek?
I'm going with what the Sporting News calls the 31st best draft. Uh, but I thought they did an amazing job. Was the
With the
Arizona
Cardinals?
Cardinals?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. Why?
So
Why?
first they traded away from 3 to move back to 12, get a first rounder next year. Then trade back up to 6. Don't have to give up a first to get back to 6. And then they take Paris Johnson, who's arguably the best.
I mean, I think he is the best lineman overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then in the second, you get BJ Ojulari, edge rusher.
Yeah.
And then you get Garrett Williams, a pretty good corner. Michael Wilson, a pretty good receiver. And then you also get another guard. Sneaky pick because Kyler Murray's going to be injured, right?
Right.
Or whatever, he's out.
You need a backup.
You got Clayton Tune, who can throw the ball all over. And here's my sneaky picks. You got 2. You got Owen Papoea. I think he's going to be a really good linebacker. And Kentrell Clark, corner.
Right.
Cardinals needed lots of defense. They're like the Raiders. They needed lots of defense. You know what, though? What the Cardinals did? They got lots of defensive help.
Right. Right.
And that's why I think they have
And they got some picks later in later drafts.
Well, here's the thing. The mocks are saying, like the odds makers are having the number 1 and number 2 pick overall next year.
But so, which is awesome. But the one question I have about the Cardinals is it a detriment not to take Will Anderson Jr.? Because they had the chance, right?
Yeah, they had a chance, but they got the Texans first rounder next year. Not the
Yeah.
Browns. They got the
Oh,
Texans
yeah,
first
yeah.
rounder. Which could still be a top 5 pick. And you got BJ Ojulari. I mean, he's not Will Anderson, but he's still pretty good.
Right. Yeah, that was my only question of their draft. I think they had a great draft, 100%. But my question is like you passed on Will Anderson.
But then also with Will Anderson, he's not Von Miller.
Right.
He's not the guy that's going to get you 15, 16 sacks.
Yeah.
He's going to play well, and he's going to play the run well, but he's not going to be that difference pass rush maker.
We don't know that yet, but yeah, that's what you would assume because of the way you played in college. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Arizona had a very good
They
draft.
had a very active draft, and that's the
Very
thing.
active.
You can trade down, and then you go back up at 6 and really not give up much, and
Right.
get a guy like Paris.
That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
All right, Wes, who do you got?
I got the Lions at 3.
Oh, you got the Lions at 3. Okay, I need to hear
Yeah.
this because I have some reservations with the Lions. So let me hear it.
The only thing I say about the whole Swift trade is, Swift hasn't been that healthy, and you're getting a guy in Gibbs that's just electric. He's just a game breaker. And yeah, you move up to get him, but I just think that really helps just the explosiveness on offense. I like Jack Campbell, getting him 18. Getting Brian Branch in the second round, to me,
Yeah.
that's a steal.
That's a great
just
pick.
stupid.
That is a great pick.
I mean, and it's like, how does Brian Branch fall to 40?
Right. Yeah, I agree, 100%.
And then you get Hendon Hooker in the third round. I'm not a big Hendon Hooker fan, especially because of his knee. Me blew out his knee. We all understand that. But to get him in the third round, he's going to be ready to play. And anytime you can get a pretty good quarterback in the third round, you did all right. Because quarterbacks, you don't want to invest too much in quarterbacks in the first round if you don't get the top 4, the top 3. So
yeah, in this draft is the top 3, right?
Yeah.
See, Wes, I was close to putting the Lions in my top 5, but the only thing that stopped me is their first round picks.
Yeah.
It's like they got great picks, but they're all second round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, Gibbs and Campbell are great in the second round.
You definitely could have gotten the second round. I think you could have gotten the second round.
I mean, I like the picks as a whole without thinking about how you drafted.
Yeah.
But we're looking, I'm like, oh.
But here's what they may be thinking, and this may be why Wes is right in this point, is because they filled positions that they needed to fill with really good players.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter when you draft them if they're filling the positions that you need them to fill, right?
Well, I
And
feel like I'm with the Lions. I think they are the favorite in the NFC North.
Oh, yeah, easily.
And I like the thing is I like Gibbs and I like Campbell, just the value of where they were picked.
Yeah.
But they're going to be great pros, I think.
Right.
So it's
So
hard.
I think that's where you get a guy like Dan Campbell that comes in and says, "Hey, GM, this is what I want."
It's a 1990s draft.
Yeah, it
You're
is.
you're drafting a middle linebacker and
Yeah, you're
Well,
drafting for what you need.
but I think the Bijan thing changed everything in the draft because
Yeah.
we did so many mock drafts and I'm like, oh, totally. If I'm the Cowboys at 23, I'm getting Bijan Robinson at
Yeah.
23, and he went 8.
Yeah,
So
that's
everyone's
crazy.
looking at this. He goes 8, and it's like, what? Where's Gibbs gonna go then?
Right.
And
Now
I think that was part of the
shakes
problem.
up the
I
draft.
think the Lions thought they could trade down and get Robinson.
Right. I think you're right. I think the Lions honestly thought that they would get Robinson in that trade down.
Yeah.
And then they had to, and I don't think you're sacrificing for Gibbs because, be honest with you, Gibbs gives you a lot that Robinson doesn't, which is the catching of the ball out of the backfield.
Because you can put him in the slot.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he
you
is a
can
slot
move him
receiver.
around like that.
He is
He's
literally a
pretty
slot receiver.
explosive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then realize that they got Montgomery now too, so they do have someone who can go through the tackles.
They got the pounder, right? They got Montgomery there running between the tackles, and then you got Gibbs third down back catching all that backfield and doing it. So, but still, like God, at 15, like it's so early for him because you can't imagine anybody else is going to take him. That was the problem I had with it. But then if you wait and he goes,
Yeah,
then
and
you
you
feel
lose them,
stupid,
then
right?
you have
Yeah,
nobody.
right. Then you're
Because
like,
then
well,
there's nobody
yeah.
that's worth.
Yeah, but then you just go with Swift.
Well, yeah, you just stay with Swift. Yeah, no, I mean that's the same thing because Swift is very similar. Like, is Swift any different than Gibbs? They're identical.
Gibbs is a lot more explosive than Swift. Swift is a great every down back, but it's like, what do you want? Do you want Swift as more of a dependable back? But he's hurt, and you got to pay the guy. You got to pay him.
I think
Why would you go with the younger guy?
The only thing you think about is Swift's injuries because I don't think Gibbs is any better out of the backfield than Swift. Swift is great out of the backfield.
Yeah.
But the injuries is that's a valid argument though for why you go with Gibbs. 100%. But I kept Detroit out of it for that reason was I really thought that they could have got those players later.
Yeah, that was like I wanted to put him in the top 5 because of an overall, but I had to leave him out because
I had the same thought process. All right, so what are we at here? We're at we're at number 2.
Yep.
So Derek, what do you got?
Now I'm going with the Steelers.
Oh, okay.
Steelers is the number 2 team because I look at value, like the value of everything. Getting Roderick Jones, and stealing them from the Jets. Because I feel like the Jets draft is horrendous because they didn't get Roderick Jones.
So bad.
And then, Joey Porter Jr. in the second round.
Right.
Washington, wasn't he a fourth rounder?
Fourth rounder.
Oh, and then my sneaky pick is Nick Herbrig. Big, tall,
Oh,
white,
yeah.
outside linebacker. Who does he remind you of, right?
Yeah.
Perfect for the 3-4 Steelers.
Yeah. What's his name?
It's like Watt.
Oh, I was thinking long time back, Kevin Green.
Oh, Kevin Green. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what when I thought about that, I thought about Kevin Green. That's why I thought the Steelers, and yeah, he was one of them. But yeah, I agree. Steelers obviously had them one draft later, but man, I think the
Too bad they
Steelers,
got Kenny Pickett, but
right? Yeah, they do need a quarterback at some point.
What? Come on.
What? Who needs a quarterback?
I think it's good.
Uh, but you know what? The Steelers, which I forgot to mention, was Keanu Benton.
yeah.
Like this, I think he is probably they got him at 49, but I think he's the best uh outside of taking Jalen Carter. That's the guy I would take. So I think they got to steal out of Keanu Benton too.
Mm-hmm.
So Steelers, in my mind, yeah, they did well. Wes, what do you got it to?
I got the Eagles.
Of course.
I got the Eagles. I mean,
Yeah.
I can really go wrong with drafting Jalen Carter, and getting him at 10 is just a pretty much a steal there. And then you go edge at the end of the first
Nolan
round.
Smith.
And are you kidding me? You get freaking Nolan Smith in the first round.
No.
And,
Right.
and my favorite is Keely Ringo in the fourth round.
Oh God.
Like,
dude.
how do you get Keely Ringo in the fourth round?
Stupid.
I mean, what is this? The all Georgia team? How many
He's not
players do you get from Georgia?
Well,
Ringo,
and then they traded for Swift.
dude. Ringo is not one of the top cornerbacks in the draft, but he's top easily, maybe top 10, maybe top 5.
I like when you get to this third day and you got the third and the seventh round. I'm taking battle tested guys.
Right.
There's nobody more battle tested than Georgia. I don't care. Like, maybe
Dude,
he doesn't have the greatest 40
but you're
times or
still
whatever, but the dude's gonna ball because he had the ball against Alabama.
you're also skipping over Sidney Brown, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
Sidney Brown, yeah.
You probably didn't watch a lot of Illinois games, dude, but Sidney Brown is a solid safety.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, Witherspoon takes up. I mean, everyone's.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Shit.
They're all looking at Witherspoon.
But Sidney Brown is
yeah.
No, like,
yeah.
And honestly, you get Tanner McGee in the 6th round. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't lose sleep at night saying, where's Tanner McGee gonna go? But when people are drafting him as high as, like, he's maybe a second
rounder,
and you get him in the second round.
Did you see how many sacks Ojomo had from the defensive tackle position?
Yeah.
And you got him in the 7th round?
It's just, who are the Eagles? How do the Eagles?
Yeah.
Because the Eagles are just pulling this stuff. It's like, how?
Really,
Why?
really crazy what the Eagles did in this draft.
Yeah.
And you just went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you went to the Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden you get some great draft picks, and you already got a young team, dude. So my number 2 team is the Texans. And the number one reason is because they gave up some picks, they gave up some drafts, but you get the number 2 and the number 3 pick. I think you get arguably the best quarterback, and I don't think arguably the best defensive player, but arguably the best offensive player at 2 and 3. You feel huge positions that you need. And then you get a lot of decent picks later in the draft that can fill positions and play for you. So I mean, Tank Dell, Houston, dude is so fast, dude.
Yeah.
And Dylan Horton's good. Tutu, what are you going to call him
Yeah.
from Alabama? Solid player, good linebacker. I got Texans at second because I think they did the most. When you talk about the draft, you want to make a splash, and I think the Texans made a splash, and I got them at number two. What do you got at two, Derek?
Didn't I already do two?
Mm.
I think
Yeah,
I
you
did
did. So
Steelers.
it's
Steelers.
Wes, you're at number one.
I got the Seahawks.
The
And even though
Seahawks at one.
even though everybody keeps doing the Texans, I probably should, but the Texans annoy me because they're the Texans. But they did have a great draft. But I mean the Seahawks, Devin Witherspoon is just
Yeah.
he's just a play. I mean, he just shores up that side from defense. Jackson Smith, I mean, gives him a great. I mean, you got Lockett, you got DK. Now you add Jackson Smith.
Yeah. I
I
think that
mean,
was their
I wish
best.
they would. Yeah, and
To be
then
honest with you, I think that was their best pick because not because he's any like Weatherspoon will make a bigger difference, but I think he is in the position when you got Lockett and Metcalf to make a lot of difference.
The only thing I thought of though was like I love Smith, but I only feel like fit wise, wouldn't Zay Flowers have been a better choice?
It could have been, but
go
I
with
think Enigma runs better routes.
Yeah.
And so as a slot, you probably want him hitting those like, short slants, quick crosses, quick ends. And I think he runs
Jackson
it a little better.
Jackson Smith's more
Because
polished. I mean,
yeah.
it's I like Flowers. I love Flowers, but it's just it's what do you want? He's just he's just more polished. He's just gonna. I mean, he could actually just be a Pro Bowler even at that position because
Oh, he could.
Lockett's not going to play forever. Lockett's not going to play forever.
Well, do we really know for sure? I mean, he hardly played this year.
Yeah, just an injury. But if you look back year before, like he outperformed Garrett Wilson and Olave. And both of them said in an interview that he's the better athlete than either of them. When you got Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave saying he's a better receiver than us,
Yeah.
that I mean, especially the way those two guys looked coming in the NFL, we won't know till it happens. But I think that's a
Right.
good, they're giving a good wolf ticket there.
Yeah, yeah, and I like the Derek Hall edge. I like the way
I
they got
do
two
like Derek
edges.
Hall.
They got two edges, Mike Morris and Hall, and then Charbonnet and running back for UCLA. I think he's a beast.
I do.
And,
I
and,
like the
and
Charbonnet pick.
I guarantee you, being if they're probably going to make the playoffs, tackling Charbonnet in the rain is not going to be fun. It's going to be like tackling, beast mode in a sense.
Right.
And then in the seventh round, you get Kenny McIntosh. The dude's
Yeah.
electric. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
dude.
care. You got a three-headed monster at running back, and they're going to need it because a quarterback, I'll never be sold.
I
I'll
think
never be sold.
McIntosh going the seventh round to me is one of the craziest picks ever because I think he's a really good running
Stupid.
back. That one for me, that's hard to believe he went that far.
Why wouldn't you take it? They're like, well, we already got two
Of
running backs.
course.
Why? Because you need three running backs in the NFL now.
I still think Derek Hall is their best pick overall, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I think you're right I mean Witherspoon's obviously super solid. I think Njigba will fit within the scheme really well. But I think Derek Hall gives them what they need on the edge.
Yeah.
So I like the Seahawks pick. But for me, number one, I mean, I went the Eagles. dude, look, if you get Jalen Carter and then you go to number 30, you get Nolan Smith. Like, what's going on here, dude? Like, this is almost rigged.
Yeah.
Because then later you get Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo. Like, come on, dude. Like, really? So, in my opinion, you get a top five corner, maybe a top 10 if you really rate him down. You get one of the best safeties in there. You get the best defensive tackle, and you get one of the better edges.
Not fair.
So you really just added four starters to your
So
team.
sum up. You go to the Super Bowl and
Right.
you get Jalen Carter.
And then
And
you
you get
add four starters to your team, dude. Like legit starters. So I have the Eagles there, and I think it's just ridiculous that they drafted. Even in the seventh round, they possibly get a defensive tackle who is young. He get like 13 sacks in a couple years at Texas. This dude could be great. We don't even know.
And
So
I love drafting anybody on the defensive line late
right.
because again, I love Jalen Carter, but you always got to think now injuries.
Oh, dude.
You know what? It's
Ojimo could come in and get 7 sacks from the defense tackle position.
He's not even going to see the field though, because you got Carter,
right? No,
and
I'm saying if he gets
Cox,
hurt, what Wes is saying, if he gets hurt, like he could come. But Fletcher
Jordan
Cox
Davis
is done.
last year.
Yeah,
Cox is done after this year, right?
yeah.
They lost Hargrove, so they need replacements, and they have them. Right. And they'll play. And then Fletcher Cox is done. Like, I mean, he's been great for a long time, but you got to replace him.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy to mentor both of these two really good defense tackles. So,
well, that's what I'm saying, though. I think everyone forgets they took Jordan Davis last year. So they got 3 great defensive tackles.
Just stupid. So I have the Eagles at the number 1, which is dumb because they went to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and mine is boring too because I'm taking the Philadelphia Bulldogs. Because they've added, like we've said, that the Georgia defense, well, not this last year, but their first championship was the greatest college defense of all time, right?
Mm-hmm. Dude,
the Eagles have 5 of the players on their team now.
So dumb.
And then, and I'm glad there's one player you guys didn't talk about, and that was Tyler Steen. They got a starting guard too.
Right.
A guy that started like 100 million games at Alabama. So every single pick that the Eagles had was a good pick.
It was a great pick.
You can't say that wasn't a good pick.
No, every pick was a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, like Wes said, getting Tanner McGee in the 6th round, that's a great pick. It's better than Aiden O'Connell.
It's a great backup, because the way Hurts plays, he might get hurt. He got hurt last year. But yeah, there's not a single pick on their draft which wasn't good.
Yeah, the Sporting News has them at 2. I just don't they have the Steelers 1, but there's nothing you could say bad about the Eagles draft.
Yeah.
I just think people look at it, and all the sports writers look at it. It's like, this isn't fair, so we're gonna put it at 2. It's not fair that you can get freaking Jalen. Like, they're like, no, they're not number 1 because that's just not right. It's like, no, this actually happened.
It did happen.
Isn't fantasy. This isn't a mock draft. This is the actual draft. They get Jalen Carter.
Well, and
Nolan Smith in the first round.
And then they trade and get DeAndre Swift, right? And so they've got Swift, and I forgot who they picked up as the other running back. I forgot who it was, but basically they make $4 million this year, and Miles Sanders left to make $13 million.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Who is it? The Eagles. I'll look this up now.
So let's talk about some bad draft picks now. Not necessarily teams, but individual picks. For me, I think it was Jameer Gibbs. Not that he's a bad player. I just think it was a bad time to take him that early in the draft. I think you could have got him later. But that comes down to if they wait, then they lose him. They don't get their guy. But I think my top pick was like Jameer Gibbs. Like I think he was way too early, and that's a tough one.
Well, mine is one of Steve's top 5 teams. Their worst pick is Bijan Robinson.
Oh yeah, let's hear this.
The Falcons need so much.
Right.
They don't need a running back. They have
Well, because they have
Tyler
Algier.
Algier. They have Cordero Patterson. You don't spend the 8th overall pick on a running back. Here's the thing. What did Texas do in college? They didn't win a national championship.
No.
They didn't even sniff a good bowl game, right? But they had like a great running back, which is great. Great running back. I'm not saying Bijan Robinson's not a good player. You just don't take him at 8.
Right.
I mean, look at the Raiders.
They had a lot of needs.
20 something. They didn't miss the playoffs, had the number 1 rusher. I just can't. Falcons taking him at 8 is just bad.
The Falcons had a lot of needs. I don't think Bijan at 8 is a bad pick. I think it's a bad pick for the Falcons.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
Right.
I just think the Falcons, it's not. When Bijan Robinson's a player for like the Lions or somebody who's almost there.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, we need that running back. Falcons, that's not going to help them at all. They're still going to win like 4 games.
No, they should have went, in my opinion, they should have went O-line.
Or Jalen Carter.
Or Jalen. Yeah, I mean, anybody should pick Jalen. Jalen Carter should have picked by anybody after number 3. But at that point, I think there was a lot of good line left, and Atlanta could have benefited from that, especially since you just got rid of one of your best linemen. So, I mean, I can get with that. So, Wes, worst picks.
Single picks. I kind of have to go with the Patriots and Gonzalez at the point that just for the fact that it's not Gonzalez is a bad player. It's the fact that, Mac Jones lacks help. And if you want him to be a successful quarterback, you don't get a receiver at all.
Right.
In all those rounds, there's receivers on the board. You get downs on the boards. You can get Branch later. Like, I think that was a missed opportunity right there. Just Mac Jones needs weapons. And you'll never know if Mac Jones sucks or not, which I say he's not that great.
If you don't get him some receivers.
If you need if you get him receivers, you're gonna find out real quick whether he's your future or he's not.
Yeah, I think Gonzalez could have went earlier, but I don't think he was the best pick for the Patriots either.
The only thing for me with the Patriots is they did trade down and still got Gonzalez. Right. And they did pick up a sneaky pick. They got Keyshawn Boot from LSU.
Yeah.
The 5th round. So, but I understand.
Yeah, but there was players available because the wide receiver rush hadn't fully taken.
Yeah. Well, it hadn't started at all yet.
Right, exactly. It hadn't been like, you had a choice of anybody there, and they went Gonzalez. But to be honest with you, that's a Belichick thing. I think that's the way he does things. He'd rather have a receiver in the 5th round.
Didn't the Patriots get Juju?
Yeah, they did. They signed Juju, but they also let go of, your guy who
Jacoby
came with the
Myers. Yeah.
Raiders, Jacoby Myers. And I don't think Juju is he's not your future.
He's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he's not leading Mac Jones to the Super Bowl. um, so another one I had problems with was Emmanuel Forbes from Washington. You could have got Joey Porter Jr. and you
Yeah.
took Emmanuel Forbes. So I mean, maybe they liked him more. I don't know. Everything I saw, I think that was a weird pick for me. So
Well, the Commanders had one of my worst drafts, and it
yeah.
all
Oh,
started with
I think they were the worst.
I would put the Jets the worst, but the Commanders were like up there too because Forbes is like 110 pounds too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's tiny. Like that's not an NFL cornerback.
Yeah, I'm
You
looking at like everyone that the
you
Commanders took, and I'm not really impressed. I mean, the only thing maybe is KJ Henry.
yeah, KJ's nice. But Forbes, I don't know. I think yeah, you could be a great college quarterback, but that doesn't, relate to the NFL.
Yeah, they reached on most of almost all their picks.
Right. Yeah, and I mean Mississippi State, I guess he's SEC. Yeah, but I just yeah. He had a lot of receptions. We'll see. We'll see what he does, but I think that was a reach.
I'm happy for this reach because I can't stand them, but it's the Cowboys. Mozzie Smith.
Oh my
Where
God.
there should be a rule. You don't take run stuffing defensive tackles in the first round. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Horrible pick.
Yeah.
They had their choice of tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dak Prescott needs all the help he can get, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, drafting a run stuffing
You can
anybody
get
anybody on the line in the first round, no.
you can get someone equal to him in the third round, fourth round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's one of the worst picks.
I will
Um,
say
I
that
I
the
definitely have
funniest
him
thing
right
though, if you
here.
could see it, is Micah Parsons' reactions
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it. Dude, he
when
was so
the Eagles
happy.
took Nolan Smith.
Do you see though when they took Mozzie, like Michael Parsons was ecstatic. I'm like, really?
Yeah, but then when the Eagles took Nolan Smith, he was like pissed
Mhm.
because he's like, "Oh wait,
Well,
I could have had Nolan Smith on the other side of me."
right. Yeah, I could add somebody on the other side who takes away from, me getting double teamed every down.
That would
And
have been
because
brutal.
you
That's
don't
like
need it,
doomsday three
right.
right there of Nolan Smith and him.
You don't need a double team Mozzie, right? All you need to
No.
do on rundowns is maybe push block him, but on pass downs, that's just a straight up block.
Yeah.
All right, Wes, what do you got?
Oh, oh, what? I mean, if I want to go worst picks, is picking a kicker in the third round. But
Oh man, you took my pick, Jake Moody.
I know you're the Niners. I know you think you don't need anything. That's not true. You do. You have needs, but still. I mean,
Well, I mean, Gold is gone, right? He's leaving.
yeah,
But in the third round,
no, I don't
because nobody's taking Jake Moody, dude. You don't need to take
know.
him in the third round.
No. Yeah, yeah,
You've
And
got
they
like
traded up for him.
you've got like five more picks.
yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
take Moody in the third round.
But yeah, the best is that they traded up to get him too.
Right.
So they're like, "Oh no, we better trade up to get this kicker."
Yeah.
Yeah, I had him for my next pick too, because I think that's crazy, dude. Why are you? Because nobody's going after kicker at that point.
Yeah. It's like, oh my
So
God, they're gonna get the kicker. Like,
they're gonna take our kicker.
no, we'll never survive. Like, come on, man.
That was a horrible pick. So my last one is Jaden Reed, wide receiver, Michigan State. I just don't think he's good. And the Packers take him in the second round. You could have got Josh Downs, and then you take Jaden Reed. So I don't know. Maybe Josh Downs won't be good. Maybe Jaden Reed will be better. I'm just not a big fan of taking Jaden Reed here. Maybe they saw something in the pro day or whatever, but I think that's a super stretch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good receivers in this draft, even fourth, fifth round. Good receivers late. You could have got someone equal to him 2, 3, 4 rounds later, and you took him at 50.
Well, not to mention they took 2 tight ends too.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then here's a few notes. So Gibbs was the 12th pick overall, not the 15th. So not even so. Oh, and I think with the Cowboys, they got flustered because the Bills traded ahead of them to get Kincaid.
Oh, yeah. Because that's probably who they wanted for sure.
Yeah.
Warren Kincaid.
I think that's a great pick for the Bills.
Yeah, it really does.
But yeah, so Mozzie Smith, they could have, if you wanted to take it, Breezy was still there.
Right.
He at least
Yeah.
does something more than just run defense. Miles Murphy was still there. I mean, I'm fine
Yeah.
with that. But my other one reach was the Jets taking Will McDonald at 15.
Oh, yeah. I went back and forth on that one for a while because I think he's small, but
Well,
that doesn't mean he's bad. He can do good things.
they needed, they should have been on the phones. They should have traded with Detroit to get broader. I mean, you can't go in knowing you need a tackle
Right.
and let there's only what the 4 tackles all go before you. You either, and I hate to say it because it's a reach too, you got to take Anton Harrison then.
Right.
Because then the rest of the draft, they never got that tackle.
Well, most of the good tackles were gone at that point.
Yeah. And it just,
I mean, I don't think they got a bad player. I just don't think they got the best fit for what they needed.
right. And if you know what, okay, then take Christian Gonzalez or, one of
Right.
the receivers.
Right. I think they should have went receiver, to be honest with you.
Well, they got all the Packers. They got all of Aaron Rodgers.
But they didn't get any good receivers.
They got the greatest slot ever, Randall Cobb.
Right. uh yeah, no, I agree, but I think Will Madonna will be okay. I think it's a decent pick, but it doesn't really help them as much as what they needed.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, this was such a crazy draft. I think it was very off from what anybody thought, you were gonna pick. Look at all the mock drafts out there from the experts, whatever we're gonna call them. But even our mock drafts were off. The last thing I want to talk about here before we wrap up is Anthony Richardson. So he goes to the Colts. I mean, I saw a meme. Of course, just a meme, but either like he's got the speed of Lamar Jackson, he's got the accuracy of Drew Brees, he's got the poise of Tom Brady. Like, is Anthony Richardson this good? Like, did
Tom
the
Brady.
Colts do themselves wrong taking this guy at 3
4.
or 4?
I love Anthony Richardson, and I think he could be great. But the problem is he needed time to sit. And I'm afraid that the Colts are going to just throw him out there.
They have to. Like, they don't have anybody else.
Now they got Gardner Minshew.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They don't.
Let's
They,
put Gardner in.
well, they're gonna have to start Gardner Minshew. That's yeah.
Right.
There's. I mean, yeah. The
It's
problem is you would like. It would have been great. Like, let's say the Colts were the Raiders. They're 7 and they fall to them. That's great. But you get him at 3. A lot of pressure. He's got all sorts of ability. You can play him in a slash role next year. But he's not ready to play under center yet. And when that's going to be, who knows?
Who's he going to learn from?
Gardner Minshew.
Oh, that's who I want to learn from.
well, their head coach is also the one that
Yeah.
got Hurts to where he was. So
Right.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's just.
But you still need that on the field mentor.
maybe Peyton Manning will come and hang out.
just go hang out on the field.
I just feel the thing
That's
is
fine.
though, with Richardson, he can be like what Justin Fields did.
Right.
Just run around and get like 1,000-yard rushing.
Right.
He's gonna be a
He's got
highlight.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
That's the advantage is he has a really good running back, a decent line. Like they're not the greatest anymore, but they're not terrible. A couple good receivers. I think he's in a better situation than Justin Fields for sure. But I also think that he needs more mentoring than Fields needed.
Oh yeah.
Well, and Fields, had Andy Dalton there. I know that's kind of funny,
Right.
but Andy Dalton was a professional and could show him the
But
rope.
Fields came in with a lot more experience. He was a little more not a polished quarterback, but a little more polished.
Well, yeah, because Richardson has 13 career
Right.
starts.
He's only played, he's played a limited amount of games. So I just I don't not like the pick because I like Richardson. I think he's gonna be a great quarterback, but I don't think that the Colts were the best place for him to go.
That's where I didn't want him to go to the Colts.
Right.
I would have been happy with the Seahawks.
Boo.
I know, but he would have been perfect there because he could have sat behind Geno Smith. He would have been perfect for the Lions to sit behind Goff.
Yeah,
Right.
that would have been money.
Great for the Raiders.
Raiders sit behind Garoppolo, but
Right.
Yeah.
Even the
What
Falcons.
about Will Levis? Will Levis should have gone at 3, right?
So what do you guys think about why did Levis fall to the second round?
His tape.
I think it's because he's a douche.
I mean, yeah.
It's because he's a douche.
I think there's been people that I'm like, he's rubbed people the wrong way.
Yeah. I've seen
funny.
some of his maybe it's his Twitter takes on like how good he's gonna be.
It's because he's a douche.
It's like you're not. I mean, I get it.
That's funny.
You could be. I guess you could be a model. I guess, but this is quarterback. You got to throw a football, and you got to throw it really well. And
he went to the perfect situation, though.
He's got a cannon, but
dude, he's gonna kill it, dude. Watch.
Have you seen some of the highlight tapes on the other players, like getting drafted, and you're getting 6'6"?
I'm gonna say this. Right now. Right now, Will Levis will throw for more yards than any other rookie quarterback.
Well, he's gonna play for the Titans, of course.
They still have Tannehill.
Dude, he's gonna start He's gonna take over the position, and Will Levis will be your rookie of the year.
No, jeez. You sound like Will Levis. This is what Will Levis would say. Dude, I'm gonna be rookie of the year. I'm gonna show all you, man. You're drafting me.
Well, do you really want to play Tannehill?
That sounds like Josh Rosen to me, dude.
I feel
That's
like
like Josh
though,
Rosen. I'm gonna make you all pay for letting me
I
drop
don't
it.
think Vrabel's one to go against the status quo, though. I mean, I think he's going to go like, oh, we got Tannehill. He was hurt last year. One more year of Tannehill. Let Levis sit.
Yeah.
Well, and what they still have his other guy too, right?
Yeah, Malik Willis is done. He was
Yeah.
garbage.
But,
We were so wrong about him.
Well,
admit,
but
I was so wrong
no,
about
no,
Malik
no,
Willis.
This is what the NFL does. We're not. Because honestly, it's called coaching.
Yeah, but he can't
Malik
even
Willis
throw the
can
ball.
play to a certain extent. Like a lot of these quarterbacks that fall out.
Yeah, wait, I take
But
that
it's
back.
like something happens and then he's like toxic. Like, oh, we can't talk to him. And it's what's stupid.
Because
It's like
CJ, I mean,
there's so much bad quarterback play in the NFL and average quarterback play everywhere.
Willis
I take
couldn't even
that. I
complete
take
a
that
5-yard
bad
pass.
because Bryce Young,
But of course, he's a rookie. I get what you're saying.
dude,
It looks bad, but everybody else remember the dude is still a rookie.
Yeah, but even Zach Wilson looked better than Malik Willis. And that's saying a lot because Zach Wilson's garbage.
But see, we're just taking microcosm. I get what you're saying. Quarterback, so you're just looking for someone to be a backup at this point. That's hey, you know what? Backups have to play almost sometimes a whole season. If you develop a guy to be a good backup and your starter goes down,
well, so I take that back because Bryce Young is gonna he has to start and he has to throw the ball.
yeah,
So unless Bryce Young gets hurt, it's gonna be hard to beat him.
yeah.
Wes, Malik
Yes.
Willis started 3 games this season.
Dude, Malik Willis is trash.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Done. We're
was
done.
50,
You said it. Done.
Done.
He's 50% completion percent. 3 games started. Okay, 3 games started. You know how many yards he threw for?
Like 200.
276.
Yeah. Dude, it's horrible. Dude, Malik Willis is so bad.
0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 276 yards passing.
Will Levis, it's like the bar is pretty low for Will Levis.
Yeah.
I would take Josh Rosen over Malik Willis right
now. Oh,
dude, I would take you over Malik Willis.
Oh my god!
I'm
literally started Derek.
I will never talk about Malik Willis again.
I was so wrong about Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Oh, we all. Oh. Well, no, let's not even go back to the film.
Oh yeah, I'll pull up the film. You guys were hyping Willis. Hyping.
But
the only thing that makes it better, okay, though, is Kenny Pickett sucks too.
Right. Yeah, Kenny Pickett sucks.
No, he's all right.
That's why, you should got guys like Tommy Frazier in the NFL because you got Malik Willis in there. Come on.
You know how great Vince Evans would have been if he was playing nowadays?
Vince Evans. I like Vince Evans. So maybe Levis won't win Rookie of the Year. I'll retract that statement.
No.
Because I think Bryce Young's going to win it now that I think about it. But I do think Levis will be playing by the end of the year.
Do you think Stroud? Does the Texans just go with Stroud, or is Mills have a chance?
I think they start Mills for the first 3 games.
Yeah,
I think Stroud takes over about game 4.
So
very similar to the Field situation.
So basically, only Bryce Young's the only one starting right away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Bryce Young starts from day 1, which makes him hard to beat. I think Stroud comes in about week 4. I think Levis comes in maybe week 8, week 9. So, and I think, well, Richardson starts, he could start day 1. I think that's a training camp thing because Gardner's not a guaranteed number 1. You're not sitting in the boardroom being like, we're going this season with Gardner Minshew,
That's
especially
why
when you have Richardson.
that's why I didn't feel like the Colts. Yeah, unless they just realized, oh shoot, we went with so many retread quarterbacks that are done. We're just gonna hit the reset button.
Right.
You
The
know,
problem the problem is if you hit the reset button with Richardson, you may like kill his development.
Right.
well,
And that's why I think you got to sit him, or at least be like situational. Be
it's
like, okay,
situational.
you know
Right.
how like Florida in their national championship with Chris Leak.
Yeah.
Chris Leak was the man, but then
Right.
all of a sudden Tim Tebow would come in and run a
Right.
few plays here and there.
Especially at the goal line.
There's a lot of things you can do with Richardson.
Yeah.
But the problem is with the Colts is I think Colts got to the point it's like we already suck. And everyone thought we're supposed to be good, but we're not very good. But we got good players. Why not, let's try this. I mean, everyone thinks he's the best athlete in the draft.
I
And
mean, statistically, he is.
so let's try this. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We suck anyways. So what's the point?
But you just wasted a 4th round, 1st round pick or
I kind
4th
of feel like
overall
you got to
pick.
do what like the Bears did with Fields.
Right.
Dalton started, but then Fields played. You know what I mean?
But Minshew's not Dalton though, dude.
Yeah, he's from Washington, Wazoo, man.
Dude,
I mean,
Minshew, man. Minshew magic.
it's not that he has bad statistics. It's not that he's terrible. He's just such a wild card. He's not a mentor. He's not someone that
No.
runs the offense you want them to run. And then all of a sudden you bring in Richardson and you're like, follow this offense that we've been doing all off season. That's the problem with Minshew.
Minshew.
Because you
Yeah.
you want to put an offense in place, right? That then Richardson can come in and just take over. So I don't know. I think after camp you may see Richardson just start. I think we'll see what happens in camp.
Well, what they got to do though is not what the Bears did with Trubisky. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
just throw him into the fire, right?
Well, and try and do stuff that is not his.
Right. Not his game.
Yeah, it's like, dude, though you would have the perfect with Taylor. You have the perfect read option.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you do.
I mean, personally, I mean, I like the read option, but I would just run Taylor, you know, in between the tackles all game and just run play action with Richardson because then you got him rolling out around the pocket, throwing deep balls.
Right.
Because you got to stop Taylor from running between the tackles. You got the best running back in the league, right?
Right.
So if he's running through the 2-4-6 hole, 1-3-5, like you got to stop him. So we'll see what happens. The Richardson pick to me was the most interesting. That's why I was wondering what you guys thought about that because I think that's a super interesting pick,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I really want to see how that plays out.
I like Richardson a lot. I'm scared for him to be just thrown into the fire.
Right. Because he could turn into that, many quarterbacks.
You need a lot of imagination with Richardson. The problem is what I see in the league, and especially why I'm not really even sold on what's happened with Lamar. not a lot of imagination in the NFL anymore.
Although,
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt, you got the Eagles offensive coordinator as your head coach now.
Yeah.
And
That's the only thing.
Remember Hurts? Everyone was talking like, oh, they're not going to pick Hurts's option up. They're not going to do this. And then they got Steichen in there, and it flipped a switch, right?
Yeah.
Now Hurts is one of the highest paid quarterbacks.
They added a lot of good players, though.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's the same thought process, and he could do the same thing. So I think that's a great story coming to the NFL, and I can't wait for that to play out. And I can't wait for the CJ Stroud to play out. Can't wait to see what happens there. I can't just, and I know, like, yes, I'm a Bears fan, but I really want to see what the Bears do this year with Fields and a lot of new offense and some defense. Um, that's gonna be fun to watch. And
It's exciting for the Bears too. No more Aaron Rodgers in your division.
yeah,
Well, now you got to worry about Detroit being good, though.
I know. Detroit's
it's okay.
tough.
It's Jared Goff. I'll take that over.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what Derek Carr does in New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
I think that'll be fun to
be
watch.
interesting.
Also, Aaron Rodgers at New York. Like I'm excited to see what he does with the Jets. I think that's going to be another storyline.
And I can't wait for Garoppolo to get injured, and then the Raiders have the worst record in the NFL.
Jesus.
Aiden O'Connell will come in and lead them to the playoffs.
Oh man.
Hey, I had 8 in my mock draft.
The poor
Raiders
Raider. Like you guys can't even be happy about getting Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't, but the thing is Garoppolo's great if you have a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
The Raiders don't. So I could just hope for a top pick and get either Caleb Williams or Drake May next year. That's all I want.
Give Jimmy a chance.
No. I honestly, I get what you both are saying here. But I mean, you get Jimmy Garoppolo and it's like you're almost not going to get one of the top quarterbacks.
I know, that's why I'm saying he's going to have to get injured.
He has to get injured.
I mean,
he gets injured every year.
You're at least going 500, right?
I don't know.
Then you're going to get stuck with Michael Penix.
Which,
he's not bad.
No. Those are some of the top storylines that I want to see play out. The Jets, the Raiders, the
what about
Bears,
the Rams? What about Stetson Bennett, baby? 4th round.
Yeah, I don't care about
Stetson Bennett's gonna play.
I liked the one that I like is the AFC South now.
Oh yeah.
Think
4 brand new quarterbacks.
You got Trevor Lawrence, Will Levis, Richardson, and Stroud.
Right. I mean, Levis probably won't play right away, but he'll eventually take over. But yeah, you're talking about 4 quarterbacks within the first 3 years of their career.
And if you think about this, okay, if you're looking on potential and then in a few years, right now the Raiders have like the 2nd worst quarterback in the AFC.
Right.
The only one worse is Pickett. Right? I mean,
if you look at it overall, yeah.
Unless you're going to say, unless Wilson doesn't come back, and Wilson is garbage again.
Right.
But,
you can't. Wilson, you got to give him a little bit of respect.
Yeah.
He had a bad year.
I'll give him a little bit, another.
Right. You got to give him one more chance. If he has a bad year this year, he's done.
Yeah. But look at the Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Amendment. 3rd worst, because Mac Jones would be down there.
Mac Jones. All right.
But yeah, if you look at it, like if Tua doesn't get hurt, the Dolphins are in the playoffs.
Right. You got Aaron Rodgers.
You
got Josh Allen.
You got Burrow. You've got Lamar Jackson. You've got Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And you got Mahomes and Herbert. And then
Oh, what
all
about
in
yeah? Oh,
order.
Pickett. Yeah, Pickett. You already said. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. He's probably like bottom three,
But if he was in the NFC, he would be top three,
right?
probably. Because
Yeah,
it's
that's a tough
Hurts
one.
and everyone else.
That's a tough one.
Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Rock
Derek.
Well,
30.
Derek Carr just projected himself into the top five in the NFC. I mean, think about the NFC. Like, who's better than Derek Carr?
Besides Hurts.
I mean, even Hurts, he's just a better runner. Like Derek Carr's still a better thrower.
Yeah.
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 Hurts, though,
There's
almost should have been Super Bowl MVP.
there's not much better than Carr in the NFC.
I mean, if we're not like going, like we got the same, because you've got Stafford, Carr are close.
Yeah,
Um,
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones,
Hey,
Dak
you know what it is?
Prescott.
You know what
Dak
it is?
Prescott. Yeah, no,
Hey,
come
it's
on now.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff's yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be Justin Fields' time too. Justin Fields is a big year for
Well, he
Kyler,
needs
Kyler Murray.
receivers.
him.
Now that Fields has receivers, he's got, he adds DJ Moore. It's gonna be a new offense. You're gonna see. We'll find out if he's an actual passing quarterback or not.
Right.
We know he can run the ball as good as anybody, but now we'll find out if he can throw the ball.
Well, this sets up the Bears. So let's say worst case scenario, Field sucks. You got 2 firsts next year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they did a good job. Um, I mean, I gotta believe that Fields can throw the ball.
Yep.
I've seen him do it. You've got a good receiver addition, you got a good rookie. Like, we'll see. So, but that's what I'm saying. Carr comes in the NFC and he's really top five, at least, maybe top three.
Well, Saints should easily win the South.
Yeah.
They should. Think they should. Yeah.
That's why Carr left, dude. That's why he went to the Saints.
Because he's a saint.
All right. Let's wrap it up here. Jeez, long podcast. If you guys are still listening, appreciate you guys. Uh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we will see you guys next time.